als ein Teamplayer. Oh. Meine Fresse.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
I'll take notes.
Then I will lead you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
One nice thing about Vulcans. Chovak is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
Hey, you won't get pity from me. I think it makes you look tough. As tough as you really are, that is.
And that makes you sound pretty smart. I might need you to save me from myself next time, though. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Ready to go?
All set.
So, gucken wir mal, was wir jetzt hier angerichtet haben gerade. Er dachte, Carter sei clever, indem er sie beschwichtigt, nachdem sie verärgert war, weil er auf der Hülle zuerst gegangen war. Hä? Aber sie hat uns doch gedroht, dass wir das... Na, ist egal. Ich frag nichts. Gefiel Carters einfach ein Botschafter Spocks Shuttle zu arbeiten.
Let's run the diagnostic.
Ich tippe mal hier drauf. Okay. Ach, das ist ja einfach hier, das LK-System. Ist alles okay? Alles okay, super.
So... I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation. I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms.
Ach komm, ja.
That just isn't gonna work for me.
Are you upset?
Not on your life, Diaz. But you need to be careful. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something. Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Divisionsfehler?
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Okay.
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp
Ich nehme
coils
das
or the
Nav-System.
navigation array? I'll check the other. It's not
Ich nehme das
overcomplicated.
Nav-System.
One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the navigation array.
Okay, dein Tricorder kann Daten aufzeichnen und analysieren. Wenn du ihn benutzt, wirst du zuvor ungesehene Dinge entdecken. Wow. Benutze X, um deinen Tricorder hervorzuholen oder zurückzustecken. Halte RT gedrückt, um leuchtende Objekte zu scannen. Du musst nah an manchen Objekten sein, um sie scannen zu können. Achte auf den Rand des Bildschirms, um zu sehen, ob du zu weit weg bist. Was ist das da? Manche Dinge, die du scannst, aktivieren einen Tiefenscan. Benutze während eines Tiefenscans LB und RB, um zwischen verschiedenen Scan-Modi hin und her zu wechseln und nach leuchtenden Objekten zu suchen. Die Modusanzeige auf dem Recorder blinkt, wenn es ein Objekt in dem Modus zu finden gibt. Wenn du alle Objekte gescannt hast, ändert sich die Farbe des Rahmens. Halte LT gedrückt, um die Daten zu analysieren und den Scan abzuschließen. Wenn es weiter nichts ist... Arbeit normal, okay. Subraumsensoren des Shuttles sind anfällig für Rückstreuinterferenz von anderen internen Systemen. Filter helfen dabei, solche Strahlen zu dämpfen, okay. Subraumsensorenphalanx überwacht die graduellen Übergänge zwischen normalen Raum und Subraum, während das Schiff mit Warpgeschwindigkeit fliegt. Keinen physischen Schäden gefunden. Wir haben noch nicht alles gefunden, ne? Hier steht alle Anomalien gescannt. Ach so, okay.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Well, we can't let the brass catch us slacking on the job. Just play along. This is a Mark IV outboard diagnostic panel used for troubleshooting shuttles and other medium-sized transport vehicles. Some people prefer the Mark V because it's one better, but the Mark IV is still one better than the Mark III.
That all sounds very technical.
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things on my mind. That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save
Das
some of
war's.
that for when I get back.
You've got a deal.
Be seeing you.
Ah, die Flieger mit einer anderen Shuttle, das ist nicht so schlimm.
Etzlar Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go.
Genau, wir müssen noch ein bisschen scannen.
Where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now. Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Jetzt geht's ab.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Das ist nicht gut. Das ist überhaupt nicht gut.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Lydians.
It's very nice to meet you.
Likewise, I hope...
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Lydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war!
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Puh. Mal gucken, was jetzt kommt. Die sehen seltsam aus.
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Alidians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Alidians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
Schwierige Frage. Schwierige Frage.
I can't speculate on something that never happened, Your Majesty. Sadly, that opportunity never came for the Kobliad.
No, it did not. But we'd be wise to learn from their example, before we too find ourselves facing extinction. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but it's really not my place to say what the Federation's interests might be.
You are their representative.
I am. But Ambassador Spock is better suited to address your concerns.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Alidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on town?
Oh, das muss ich machen?
Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Alidians? Can only be one or the other, not both.
Ach, komm.
If there can only be one, then it would be in the best interest of all involved if the Alidians resumed operation of the mines.
And that is why we should not trust our fate to the Federation.
She speaks sense. You do well to listen to her.
And you do well to hold your tongue.
We will take back our minds by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock.
Die sind mir zu seltsam, zu überfreundlich. Ich glaube, die anderen, auch wenn sie hochnäsig sind, Da ist noch mehr im Spiel
I
als nur
think
das,
this
was
is
wir
best
wissen.
left to those of us with more experience in diplomatic matters.
Eigentlich sollte ich gar nicht hier sein. Ich sollte mich noch mit anderen
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Die haben irgendwas gefunden. Bin ich mir ziemlich sicher. Ist zwar nicht so toll gelaufen gerade. War etwas besorgt wegen Jarrahs ausweichendem Verhalten, als die Hotari-Königin sie in der Halle der Königin in Verlegenheit brachte. Naja. Dass es, dachte, Jarrah hätte mitteilsamer sein können, als sie von der Hotari-Königin. Ey, ich sollte gar nicht diplomatische Sachen hier machen. Ich war gar nicht darauf vorbereitet. Was soll das? Ist hier noch irgendwas Neueres? Nö. Naja, dann ist das halt so. So, ich würde sagen, das ist ein guter Punkt, weil hier ist gerade... Ne? Können wir da auch was machen? Untersuchen Gemach der Königin. Das machen wir beim nächsten Mal. Machen wir hier Feierabend. Bisschen groggy vom finalen Aufbau von der Hühnerunterkunft. Und morgen Nachmittag voraussichtlich werden wir welche holen. Mal gucken. Das war zu überraschen. Ne? Vielen Dank fürs Zusehen, liebes YouTube. Wir sehen uns morgen Abend wieder mit Spiel. Einfach planlos. Wir werden irgendwas spielen. Schauen wir mal. Das möchte ich gerne weiterspielen, definitiv. Es macht Spaß. Auch wenn es recht lang gezogen ist, ist es halt ein, ich würde mal sagen, ein interaktiver Film oder eben halt eine Serie, ne, aus dem Star Trek-Universum mit ein paar QTEs. Und bisher ganz spannend und lustig und mehr davon. In diesem Sinne, bis dahin. Euer Firefox. Ja, man muss doch Feierabend machen, ne?